Hi and welcome to Momza Yoga. Today's yoga flow is a little bit more fiery than some of my other prenatal yoga. It's perfect for someone in their second trimester who's feeling better and is maybe craving a little bit more of a challenge. It's safe for any trimester though, and it's very good for building the strength and endurance you'll need for delivery. I will be using yoga blocks in this video, so if you have them, you can pause it now and go and get them. I hope you enjoy.
We'll begin by taking a wide-legged child's pose. Spreading our knees out as far as they want to go, and walking our hands forward and lowering our head down towards the ground. Take a deep breath into your chest here and see if your inhale can expand your ribs outwards. And as you exhale, see if you can get rid of anything that's not serving you today. Any anxiety, worry, embarrassment. Just breathe it out. Go ahead and walk your hands back in towards the center. And come to sit on your bottom with your feet several feet out in front of you. You're sort of perched on your sit bones and your hands are resting on your shins right under your knees. The spine is long. And as you exhale, you're going to hug your tummy in towards your spine and round your spine, leaning backwards, sort of hanging in a little hammock. And as you inhale, you're going to move your chest forward, letting your shoulder blades travel down your back and your arms bend, opening up the chest. Exhale, we round the spine and hang back. Inhale, we move the chest forward and the shoulder blades move down the back. Exhale, round the spine. Maybe sway side to side, moving the stretch into the shoulders. And inhale, we come forward again. Bring your legs out in front of you. We'll get ready for our next pose. We're going to swing our left leg around behind us, bending the knee, and we're going to bring our right foot to our left inner thigh. Walk your left fingertips out in front of you and your right fingertips out behind you, gently pushing through your fingers to have a long spine. Inhale and grow your spine a little longer. Exhale, hug the tummy in towards the spine as you twist gently over that right knee. And another inhale grows the spine a little taller. Exhale, hug the belly in and come a little deeper into your twist. Let your torso come back to the front and place your left hand on your left hip. Start to slowly rock your pelvis forward and back, getting some nice fluid motion in the hip joint. And make sure this motion comes from the pelvis, not from the low back. And let's bring our legs around in front of us now. Shake them out a little bit. Maybe make circles with your ankles. Take any tension out of your legs. We'll take the second side by bringing the left foot into the right thigh, swinging the right leg around behind us. Walk your right fingertips forward and your left fingertips behind you, pushing gently. Inhale the spine long. Exhale the tummy into the spine as you come into your twist over your left knee. Another inhale grows the spine taller. Exhale, we hug the tummy in and come a little deeper into our twist. Go ahead and bring the torso to the front and place your right hand on your right hip, coming into that rolling motion in the pelvis, slowly rocking it forward and back. The pelvis is moving this, not the low back muscles. Go ahead and swing your legs back out in front of you now. Shake out your knees, roll your ankles. We'll come to stand on hands and knees, making sure the hips are square over the knees and the shoulders over the wrist. Make sure you have 2 blocks in the tallest position in the top of your mat. We're going to come into a carpal tunnel opener by rotating our hands out towards the sides until the fingertips come all the way around and face the knees. This can feel like a pretty intense stretch if you've got tight carpal tunnel, so go ahead and take some deep breaths here to support this. When you're ready, release your fingertips back forward so that they're facing the blocks now. And we're going to reverse this. We're going to flip the hand over so that the front of the hand is now flat on the mat. And you can do this at the same time or one hand at a time because this is also a very intense stretch. And taking some deep breaths while you stretch out the front of the wrist. Go ahead and return your palms to the ground. Tuck your toes behind you and come sit on your heels. This is a deep foot stretch. You always want to stretch your feet because they're the foundation of all your poses. Clasp your hands behind your back and run them down your spine. externally rotating your shoulders and stretching your chest. Release this and come back to hands and knees. You're going to extend your right leg back behind you with the toes tucked and start to slowly rock forward and back, stretching the entire back leg, the calf, the ankle, the bottom of the foot. Come back to center, hug your belly, and float that leg off the ground. You're going to notice here that my leg is far too high up. It should just be at the level of the waist. So take a peek behind you. If your foot's floating up high towards the ceiling, then lower it down a few inches. When you feel stable, you'll lift your left arm out to the level of your ear. Don't worry about any wiggles here. That's just the pose doing its work to create some balance and stability in your core. If you fall out of it, just take a break. Come right back in. Go ahead and release your palm to the ground. Come back to hands and knees. And we'll take a few rounds of cat-cow here, just to rinse out the spine. Inhale, the spine rounds towards the ground. Exhale, the spine rounds towards the ceiling. And come back to a neutral position and step your left leg behind you with the toes tucked. Start to rock forward and back, opening up that whole back of the leg, the ankle and the foot. And come back to a neutral position, hug the tummy in and float that leg up. Remember, we want the leg just to the level of the waist. And when you're ready, you'll lift your right arm up to the level of your ear. And you want to feel the right hand and the left foot are pulling in opposite directions from each other, giving some length to your spine. Don't mind the wobbles. Go ahead and return to hands and knees. Move your blocks a little bit forward if they're right next to you. Tuck your back toes and push through your feet and your palms to downward facing dog. Go ahead and bend your knees a little bit here. It's your first down dog of the day, so we can ease our hamstrings into it, maybe cycle your legs a little. And if you find that your spine is rounding, that you can't keep a long straight back, then definitely do bring a little bend in your knees. This will help tilt your tailbone towards the ceiling. Let's walk our feet forward towards our hands. Place your palms on your blocks so you're in a forward fold with your hands on your blocks and a long spine. Bend your knees, round your spine. Slowly walk your hands up your thighs as you rise to stand. Inhale, the arms come overhead. Exhale, your hands come to your heart center. Inhale, we rise the arms up overhead. Exhale, hold the belly in as you fold forward, placing your palms on your blocks. Step your right foot back, and now your left, so you're on hands and knees. And we'll take a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, the spine curves towards the ground. Exhale, we hug the tummy in, the spine curves towards the ceiling. Inhale, the spine curves towards the ground. Exhale, the spine curves towards the ceiling. Return to a neutral spine. Step the right foot forward, placing your hands on your blocks. Tuck the left toes. Push through the left foot as you rise to stand. So now you're in a forward fold on your blocks again. Bend the knees. Walk your hands up your thighs to rise to stand. Inhale the arms overhead, hands together. Exhale your hands to your heart center. And we'll take the other side. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, folding forward, bringing your hands to your blocks. You have a long spine. Step the right foot back, then the left, coming to hands and knees for our 2 rounds of cat-cow. One more cat-cow will round the spine towards the ground, and exhale, round the spine towards the ceiling. And returning to a neutral spine, we'll step the left foot forward now. Place your hands on your blocks, tuck your right toes, and push, engaging your tummy as you rise to stand in a forward fold over your blocks. Bend the knees, round your spine, Walk your hands up your thighs. Inhale the arms overhead. Bringing the palms together, exhale your hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, hold the belly to the spine and fold forward with your hands on your blocks. Place your palms to the ground and step back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, step it forward between your hands. Go ahead and reach for your blocks and bring them back so that they're on either side of your foot. And take a moment to make sure that your hips are square. And go ahead and place your hands on your blocks in the tallest position. Walk them forward a bit. Scoot your foot forward. And then go ahead and bend that right knee to carry you into your lunge. Extend your right arm out to the side and now your left, letting your torso twist a little bit towards that thigh. This is still considered a safe twist in pregnancy because your torso is a little bit upright here. It's not really cramming the abdomen into the thigh. Go ahead and release this, returning your hands to your blocks. Step back to hands and knees. Tuck your toes behind you and push through your feet and your palms back to your downward facing dog. Walk your hands towards your feet, returning your palms to your blocks so you have a long spine. Bend the knees, curve your spine, walk your hands up your thighs. Inhale the arms overhead, bringing the palms together, and exhale your hands to your heart center. And we'll take the other side. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward with your hands on your blocks, long spine. Place your hands to the ground and step back to downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, bring it forward between your hands, lowering your right knee down. Adjust your blocks a little. Take a moment to keep your hips square. And then bend that left knee coming into your lunge. Extend your left arm out to the side, and then your right, allowing your torso to twist open. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, return your hands to your blocks. Come back to hands and knees. Tuck your back toes and press to downward facing dog. Slowly walk your feet in towards your hands. Return your palms to your blocks. Bend your knees, allowing the spine to curve. Walk your hands up your thighs. Inhale the arms overhead, letting the palms touch. Exhale your hands to your heart center. For the next part of our flow, we're going to take a big step to the left. So we'll come into a wide-legged stance. The toes are facing 45 degrees or roughly lined up with the corners of the mat. We're in our star pose here. In this pose, the feet are pressing firmly into the ground. The arms are pulling in opposite directions. The crown of the head is reaching up towards the ceiling, lengthening the spine. And the tailbone is growing heavy towards the ground. We're strengthening our legs and lengthening our spine at the same time. We're going to come to our Warrior Two pose by pivoting our right toes to face the front of the mat and making our left back foot parallel to the back edge of the mat. Bend your right knee to come into your Warrior Two. And here you can see that my husband and child have snuck into the frame, filming me. What can I say? This is a family business, so try to ignore them. And we're going to do a little flow here from our Warrior Two. We're going to inhale as we straighten the right leg and lift our arms up overhead. And as we exhale, we'll rebend the right knee, returning to our Warrior Two. Again, inhale, the right leg straightens, the arms come overhead. Exhale, the right leg bends as we return to our Warrior Two. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, return to Warrior Two. Inhale, straighten the right leg and rise up. Exhale, bend the right knee and return to Warrior Two. From your Warrior Two, you're going to place your left hand on your left thigh and reach your right arm up. Inhale up first, growing your spine towards the ceiling. Then with a long spine, you're going to reach your arm back behind you. This should really feel like a side body stretch, not a low back stretch. Exhale, come back to your warrior two and straighten your right leg. We're going to pivot our body now so that we're facing the long side of our mat. Turn your toes so that they're at 45 degrees or roughly in line with the corners of your mat, and your arms are reaching out to the sides. We're going to bend our knees and sit down in goddess pose as our arms bend at a 90-degree angle at the elbows. It's important here to not have your tailbone tucked underneath you as if you were about to sit down, and you also don't want it sticking too far out. You want it somewhere in the middle, so there's a bit of a lumbar curve in your low back. Holding goddess pose like this for at least 3 to 5 breaths is meant to build strength in your legs and a lot of endurance, both of which are going to prepare you for childbirth. And after 3 to 5 breaths, go ahead and straighten your legs to come out of this pose. Heel toe your feet in together and come to stand at the front of your mat. We'll take the other side by pivoting to the other long side of your mat to find star pose. Your feet are parallel to the edges of the mat. Your arms are reaching strongly out to the sides. The crown of your head is lifting your spine up towards the ceiling, and the tailbone is reaching down towards the ground. We're strengthening our legs and lengthening our spine. We'll find our warrior two pose by pivoting our left toes to the front of the mat and making sure that our left heel is lined up with our right instep. Go ahead and bend your left knee and come into your warrior two. On an inhale, we'll straighten the left leg and rise our arms up. Exhale, bend back into your warrior two. Inhale, straighten the left leg and rise the arms up. Exhale, lower back down to warrior two. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower back down to your warrior two. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, return to warrior two. Rest your right hand on your right thigh. Lift your left arm up. Breathe up first and then tip back over that right leg, coming into reverse warrior. Exhale, return to warrior two and straighten the left leg. Face the side of your mat now and heel toe your feet in a little bit, preparing for your goddess pose. Your toes are at 45 degrees or in line with the corners of your mat. Go ahead and sit down in your goddess pose. The elbows bend at 90 degrees. The palms face in towards your head. And breathe deeply here as you feel some heat and maybe a little burning build up in your legs. And know that this is giving you the strength and the endurance that you're going to need for childbirth later on. After 3 to 5 good long breaths here, go ahead and rise up out of this. Heel toe your feet in together to come to stand. We'll start our cool down by coming and sitting down on our mat, placing the soles of the feet together and the knees fall out to the sides. Go ahead and place blocks or pillows under your knees if there's any strain in your hip or your knees. Keep a long spine and rest your hands on your feet. If you feel like you want a deeper stretch, you can go ahead and start to lean forward in between your knees. Let your spine be round here. Just let everything sort of relax into the space between your legs. And take some slow, deep breaths here, releasing any tension down into the ground. Use your hands to push you back to a seated position. Go ahead and remove the blocks or pillows if you had them under your knees. And straighten your legs out in front of you and just wiggle your toes, bend your knees a bit. Come into a wide-legged seated stretch or a straddle. The toes point up towards the sky. Place your palms on the ground in front of you. And with a long spine, begin to walk your hands forward. And when you get to the point where you can't keep a long spine anymore, you can either remain here, or if you want, you can bend your arms and surrender a little deeper into that stretch with a rounded spine. It's important that if you feel like your spine needs to curve or round, that you're not pulling with straight arms on that back, but letting the arms bend. Go ahead and come out of this by walking your hands in towards you. And swing your legs around to the side. We're going to come and lie down on our mat to take a supported bridge pose. So the feet are flat on the floor, Make sure your fingertips just graze your heels. Reach for your block, lift up your bottom, and place the block in the medium position or the high position, depending on you, right under the low back and the sacrum. You don't want the block pressing too much on your lumbar spine, and you don't want it too much on your bony sacrum or tailbone, but sort of in the space in between. Let your shoulders externally rotate. Let your chest melt open. Take some deep breaths into your rib cage here. See if you can expand your ribs outwards with your inhale. And to come out of this, push up on your tippy toes a little to remove the block. Roll your spine back down and come over to lay on your side. Taking a final resting pose. If you have a block or a pillow to place under your head, and of course a block or as many pillows as you need in between your knees to support your hips. Go ahead and enjoy these last few breaths here in your resting pose.
I hope you enjoyed this yoga today. If you did, please like and subscribe. This greatly helps other people find this information. Thank you.